So the Democrats don't care if you voted for them because the red states are going to get hit the most first by this healthcare non reform if it doesn't go through. And they could say they have these other ideas, but you know what? We're sick of talk. Talk is cheap. You haven't done anything. Talk about taco. Donald has been talking about this since I could remember, since 2015, 16. Oh, the Obamacare sucks. Oh, it needs to be done. I got concepts. I got ideas. Well, it's 2025. Let's get it on some paperwork. Let's get some fairness on some paperwork. Let's do it together. Let's talk. It's not going to get done, shut down. And why haven't you done it up until now? Because now it's going to run out and now everybody's going to be screwed in this country. So red states are going to mostly be hit first. Then it's going to trickle down. And of course, blue states are going to be hit as well. And of course, different part of the states are going to be hit harder than others. Now, let's pivot. Let's pivot to Argentina again. We have approved $20 billion. Not we, Donald Trump has approved $20 billion, now to be doubled to $40 billion, to a bailout to Argentina for their hedge funds. $40 billion. What about America first? What about us citizens in this country? Why all of a sudden do you care about Argentina so much all of a sudden? We have no idea, especially since they're our soybean farmers' hugest competitor. They've been selling all of their soybeans to China. So why this $4 billion going to Argentina? I would really like to know. I'm sure it's some selfish, corrupt reason. Because we, the people, have not approved of this. You are stealing from the American purse, basically. You are stealing money from the American people. Yes, you're committing crime after crime after crime, and we've basically had enough, and Saturday proved it. You could put a fake king hat on in your AI all you want. But like you said, you're not the king and you never will be. This is ridiculous how you're helping out Argentina instead of your citizens you're supposed to be in charge of helping. Don't forget you got voted there to help people, not to selfishly indulge in like Jabba the Hutt, Pizza the Hut, okay? This is disgusting. And Christy Gnomes, Pam Bundy, Pete, all of you, it's disgusting and you're all breaking the law multiple times and you're all going to pay for it. Trust me, I can tell. You are all going to pay for this. You should all stop worrying for your lives. And because you're going to end up in jail when this is all over. And the fact that you're not giving this money to the people while you're in the people's house. I will go on. You're building the ballroom. You build the Rose Garden Club. You're just keep using money for yourself. You just keep using money for yourself and your own corrupt, selfish ways and for your family. It's just, it makes me sick. He gets the You Make Me Sick award, Donald Trump. Again. What a shock. Oh. So more update this week. I want to know at this point, because this huge thing that was presented to the Supreme Court last week on Louisiana's remapping of the voters taking place, Brett Kavanaugh, you better listen to the people. You're a very corrupt man, and I've seen lots of footage on you and what you've done and how you speak to people. I don't know how you got there. Actually, I do know how you got there. But SCOTUS, everybody in the Supreme Court, they have to remember, they're talking about an end point for the civil rights movement. What's your end put on Donald Trump immunity deal that you gave him? I think it's about time to end that now. Forget about the Second Amendment. It's time to put an end point on Donald Trump immunity deal. This is totally out of control. He's off the rails. And I can't wait to see how many of you go behind bars when all this is done also. You're not above the law, even though you seem to think you are. So Donald Trump's approval continues to drop even more. And it will continue, of course. He lies again today. Lie. He came out today and said that, he asked Moody. He said he was on the phone with Moody, and he assured him he will not buy Russian oil anymore. He assured him he will not buy Russian oil anymore. And then Moody came out and said everything Donald just said was a lie. So again, Donald and Pete Hegseth could kick everybody out of the White House, all the reporters, unless they sign this totally crazy agreement. But you're still going to have other people reporting on what's going on now. So he called him out. He said he did not say that. He's such a effing liar. So even Marjorie Taylor said, come on, we got to get this house in session. I'm tired of not working. We have to work and we have to get called in. Let's go. And she also said that the Arizona congresswoman needs to get sworn in for these Epstein files because her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I always reverse those. She signed the Epstein release file and she's standing by it. So even a lot of Republicans, she's not the only one, are getting very tired now about all this going on with him being so selfish and forgetting about why he was elected and why Marjorie, supported him and why everybody else supported him. And one more thing about someone else that makes me sick. And one more other person that makes me sick is Kristi Noem. Again, will come up because she's got over 200 million. Sorry, I'm not used to all these millions and billions and trillions being thrown around all the time. She has now $200 million worth of jets for her to jet around our country in and go stand on rooftops in Portland. Her boyfriend, not her husband, her and her boyfriend, Corey, whatever his name is, who is, by the way, being divorced by his Long Island wife, who was a survivor of 9/11, who he constantly cheats on. I'm glad she finally decided that this was enough. Of course, I'm sure that woman has been through enough with the 9/11 situation with her husband. So I think I'm going to complete it with that today, but I'm going to leave us on a good note. I watched a David Lee Roth video this morning completely by mistake. I had YouTube on, and I love Van Halen. I had all their albums, and when David Lee Roth went out on his own, I thought he was so funny. I loved his single albums too, when he was on his own. And of course, growing up a musician, a guitarist, a lead guitarist in those days, I mean, it was hard to call yourself a lead guitarist when you were around people like Eddie Van Halen, listening to them, not around them. And then Steve Vai actually was his David Lee Roth's guitarist when he went solo on his albums. And just watching Yankee Rose came up today, and watching David Lee Roth prance across the stage just brought back great memories of you know, how David Lee Roth is a non-conformist. Don't be a conformist, y'all. I always conformed just enough to get by, just so my kids would have friends. But it's really hard to conform. And for me, to be like one of the normal subdivision women. Like one time I was invited to the Bonko night in the neighborhood I used to live in, which is a game that women play like once a month to get together and gossip if you go. And I stupidly went in a brand new, like, free people slip dress with my cowboy boots, and I made homemade my infamous deviled eggs, and I walk into this beautiful home, and everybody's looking at me like, who invited her? Because I was the only one that looked different. And the eggs smelled of her house. It was so funny because, well, my hair wasn't gray, but it was still big and curly. And, you know, it was just hysterical because everybody had like short blonde bob, bleached, and which is great. It's a good way to get around your grays, you know. But everybody, I think except one other person, had a blonde bob up to here, you know, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of place. But I'll try to play bunco. I never played bunco before. I've been invited to like Keno. I like playing Keno, but I had never been to bunco before. But anyway, I didn't go back. I'm sure they didn't want me to go back. And I think she put my deviled eggs in the fridge so they wouldn't smell up the kitchen. And I don't blame her. So anyway, don't be a conformist. Just be you. And love yourself and love everybody for who they are. Because we're all so unique, okay? All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I love y'all so much. Talk soon.